How old was Aisha when a 54-year-old man married her and took her to his bed when she was playing with dolls? How old was she?
I think so. She was 6, and before, at the time of consummation, she was around 9 years old.
Okay, 9. Okay, let's go with it. A 9-year-old girl playing with dolls, taken by a 54-year-old man, old enough to be her grandfather, into his home, in his bed, and this young girl sees a grown man naked, and he enters her and he deflowers her. And you're okay with that?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dalam Islam, pernikahan nikah adalah ikatan suci antara laki-laki dan perempuan yang bertujuan untuk membangun keluarga sakinah tenang, mawaddah penuh kasih sayang, dan rahmah penuh belas kasih. Pernikahan merupakan ibadah dan sunnah Rasulullah SAW yang memiliki aturan dan syarat tertentu berdasarkan syariat Islam. Tujuan pernikahan itu sendiri melainkan untuk menjaga kesucian dan menghindari zina, membentuk keluarga yang harmonis dan bertakwa, melanjutkan keturunan dengan cara yang halal. Tapi bagaimana dengan pernikahan Nabi Muhammad yang menikahi Aisyah pada saat Aisyah berumur 9 tahun? Topik pernikahan Nabi Muhammad dengan Aisyah yang berusia 9 tahun memang sering menjadi bahan perbincangan dan kontroversi, terutama di kalangan non-Muslim, termasuk orang Kristen. Pandangan orang Kristen terhadap Nabi Muhammad dalam hal pernikahan dengan Aisyah radhiyallahu anha sangat bervariasi. Ada yang mengkritik berdasarkan standar modern, ada yang memahami dalam konteks sejarah, ada yang mencoba melihat dari perspektif Islam, dan ada juga yang bersikap netral atau tidak peduli.
Read it. Here it talks about young girls, minors who haven't had their periods, that Muslims are marrying and having sex with. This is what we call prepubescent, premature minors.
Because my Allah has commanded.
Because Allah told you it's okay for you to take a young girl, a minor, have sex with her, and then divorce her so another grown man can have sex with her, destroying this young girl psychologically, physically, emotionally. That's okay because your Allah said it.
But this is not compulsion on everyone, that everyone has
See,
to do this
you change the subject. I didn't tell you you have to, but you can, and many Muslims are doing it today in the Muslim world. Don't deceive yourself. You have men in their 30s and 40s who are still having sex with 9-year-olds because that's the example of your prophet. Don't deceive me, man. It's not a 14-year-old. Listen.
I'm not saying it is not possible.
No, it's not. It's actual. It's happening. So it's not a 14-year-old marrying a 9-year-old in the Muslim countries. It's a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old taking a 9-year-old, having sex with her because of the example of your prophet. They're still doing it today in the Muslim countries because of your God and prophet and your Quran. And your prophet, how old was he when he married Aisha? How old was he?
He was 50 plus.
Okay, 54. How old was Aisha when a 54-year-old man married her and took her to his bed when she was playing with dolls? How old was she?
I think so. She was 6, and before, at the time of consummation, she was around 9 years old.
Okay, 9. Okay, let's go with it. A 9-year-old girl playing with dolls, taken by a 54-year-old man, old enough to be her grandfather, into his home, in his bed, and this young girl sees a grown man naked, and he enters her and he deflowers her. And you're okay with that?
LGBT, did Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, really marry a 9-year-old?
Yes, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, married Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, when she was 6, and the marriage was consummated when she was 9. This was entirely normal and acceptable for 7th century Arabia and many other societies throughout history, including Christian ones. Marriageable age was determined by biological maturity and societal norms, not by modern standards. Here are past examples from Christian history that prove this was not unique to Islam. 1. King Richard II of England married Isabella of France when she was 6 years old in 1396. 2. Hugh Capet's son, Robert II, the Pious, married Rala of Italy when she was about 8 years old. 3. Saint Agnes of Rome, a venerated Christian saint, was betrothed at around 12 years old before her martyrdom. Across Europe in the Middle Ages, child marriages were common. This wasn't exploitation. It reflected the realities of their world. The fixation on Prophet Muhammad's marriage ignores the global historical context. Judging ancient practices by today's norms is intellectually dishonest as societies evolve.
Why is it Muslims get heat for marrying a child 1400 years ago, but the thousands of Christians that did it get off scot-free? Let me know in the comments.
Why didn't your prophet stop this practice of having sex with minors Why did he practice it and make it part of the Quran so that it's now still being done today?
Menanggapi hal tersebut, dalam sebuah podcast, Backlover menunjukkan komentarnya bahwa di beberapa negara di Eropa, termasuk Amerika dan Inggris, terdahulu para bangsawan menikahi anak di bawah umur.
Well, I would say if he's a pedo, then all of Europe, all of America should shut their mouths.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Pull it up, maestro. Pull up marriageable age in the USA, my brother. And I want you to read this now. Go scroll down now. This is up on Wikipedia. Okay, yeah, go down. Marriage age in the U.S. Here, let's start here.
There we go.
Let's start here.
Colonial
Start at age of
America.
consent. Start at age of consent. Let people go do their homework.
In 1275, in England, as part of a law, the Statute of Westminster in 1275, it was a misdemeanor to ravish a maiden within age, whether with or without her consent. The phrase within age was interpreted by jurist Sir Edward Coke to mean the age of marriage, which at the time was 12 years old.
Okay, 12 years old. Now we're going to go down deeper into this. So zoom out, maestro. Continue down. 37 states, 1880. We're talking about 1,300, almost 1,300 years after the life of the Prophet Muhammad. 37 states set the age of consent at 10 years old. 10 states set the age to 12 and back and forth and so on and so forth. Okay? Hold that now. Let's go to the next one now. Pull up the royals in Europe. Let's pull it. This is America.
Yeah.
Okay, the age of consent was just changed a few years ago in New York. I think it was like 13, and they just officially changed it. Okay?
How long ago did they change it?
If I had a daughter and somebody wanted to marry her at 10, I would bury them alive.
Right.
I'm not defending in that aspect, but we need to put things into historical context. And we can't just point and say, oh, you Arabs, oh, you Middle Easterners, oh, your prophet this and you this. When let's look at Europe, man. These are the royals. People still love the royal
Look at Mary,
families.
bro. Mary was 12. She had not only was she married, but she was impregnated. She was cosmically impregnated
by the father. So was the father a pedo?
Probably.
But they don't have a problem attacking Muslims and creating Islamophobia and creating hatred. If we look at their ancestors, this is all of Europe. 15 years old, 13 years old, 12 years old. They were marrying. Now, there's a difference between being engaged, Danny, and consummating the marriage. They were consummating these marriages, bro. 8 years old to a 30-year-old. Look at Cecile of France. Okay?
Where's Cecile of France?
Right there, 12th century.
Oh, it's 12th century.
Okay.
8 to 9 was married.
Yeah, okay. All right, so look in the mirror.
Yeah, it's the stuff's ubiquitous.
Yes,
the stuff's ubiquitous.
Yes, because the rule of the world, up until about 100 years ago, really until feminism, right? Till their movement, women's movement.
Child trafficking was also ubiquitous back then too. Not only was marrying kids really young and then like doing like stuff with children like right after they hit puberty. I think the law in like ancient Rome was like if there was some sort of abuse of an underage kid, underage, they defined by prepubescent, it wasn't even like, you don't even get in trouble. It was only like a civil lawsuit. I could, if there was damages, I could sue you or whatever.
These are centuries and centuries of the royals, princes, you name it, throughout all of Europe.
Oh my God.
Throughout of all of Europe. Yet most of the people that come from
8 or 9 Elizabeth of Cumin.
Okay, a Christian background here in the U.S. Go look at your grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, man. They were pedos. Bro. They were pedos. And you guys want to attack what? Now let me set the background of the Prophet's marriage. No one knew her age. She wrote hadith. I was around 6. I was around 8. She didn't even know her own age. That's a fact. My grandmother, God rest her soul, born in Albania, they didn't keep documents. She didn't even know her own age, bro. That's a fact. I know Albanians that were engaged in the womb. They were engaged. Doesn't mean they consummated the marriage, but they were engaged. That's just the way the world was.
Right.
Families traded. You have a son, I have a daughter. That's how they kept ties. That's how they kept power. That's throughout the world.
Sure. It still happens today.
If we pull up Asia right now, same thing, but we don't have to. You guys go do your homework. So where am I going with all this?
Yeah, where are you going with this?
First of all, anyone that marries a 10-year-old today should be hung. Okay? I'm not saying it's right, but in context,